It's the Doscinco Project.
Money pouring in, clientele growing down.
With your host, Doscinco.
Let's go!
What up, everybody? You are now tuned into the Doscinco Project, where we talk about business, entertainment, motivation, and mindset. I got my guy again, man. We back in the building, man.
Yeah.
Mahdi Alston. Mahdi Alston with no entertainment name, because that is the entertainment name.
Because I'm me.
Listen, he brought a bottle. Can you bring that bottle over here, man? He brought, it's called, what's it called, Beluga?
Beluga celebration from Turkey. I was in Turkey.
He was in Turkey.
Fire. And I felt like it was necessary. This is, the first episode that you had me on, it was a good response. So thank you, brother.
Yes.
I even had some of my youngins like, oh, you doing podcasts? And I was like, nah, I was just helping my man because he's, he got a good thing going.
Right.
So you kind of made me look good.
I appreciate you, man.
I
appreciate you because I'm going to be honest, man. Like, we'll go ahead.
This go around. That's why I wanted to bring you some vodka.
Yeah, I love that,
And we wanted to drink and just be more kind of
calm.
You know what I mean?
It's in the bloodstream already. I took a shot. I took one shot, and I'm lightweight, so it's already in the bloodstream.
We about to get tipsy.
Yeah. It's about to be on. But no, I want to thank you for the first episode because the vibes was there, everything was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we fed off of each other's energy, and you got a Barry White laugh, man. You got a Barry White laugh, man. You
know what? I'm gonna tell you, I got a lot of responses from like, "Oh, your voice. You should be doing voiceovers."
You should. I think you should, brother. I think this is a hidden talent,
man.
You understand?
Somebody want to pay me.
Listen, you started off.
Which camera I'm looking? Somebody want to pay me. I'll do it. Yeah.
That's it. Well, listen, man. Let's jump right into it, right? So,
let's go.
I know you and I, we were talking about what topics can we discuss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we started talking about, let's talk a little bit about relationships, right? Let's talk about relationships from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's very key because nowadays, relationships is a totally different meaning than what it was back then.
Yeah.
At least to me, at least where I see it, you know?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, you got a lot more to worry about nowadays when you play in the field because loyalty comes into question like crazy. You hear me?
Yeah.
And so what are your thoughts on that?
Loyalty, you know what? It is, it's a different time for us. Like even the young, like I keep seeing this new thing now where they're talking about the expectation. I'm jumping all over the place, but the expectations that men fly chicks, fly them out, flued out. I don't know how
they get
flued
out.
But they're getting flued out, right? And the expectation of a man, flying you out, taking care of you, nice hotel, all this other stuff, and not having sex is like a controversy right now.
Yeah, my man Ed, I don't know if you saw this video, but some dude was airing out the chick because she didn't want to have sex with him at all. He flew her out. He said he was acting like a gentleman the first night, and he realized he wasn't getting the yams, and he just aired her out.
Is that the one we kicked out the car? It was one I see. It's a lot of them happening actually.
Okay.
But it's one where I seen like dude was driving. He brought her to the airport and like kicked out the car and canceled her plane ticket. Something crazy. Man. Like get home. So I'm saying all that to say, we're in a different time in relationships where like I don't think we had that problem 20 years ago. I don't think that was the thing.
I wasn't flying nobody. I ain't had the money for that.
Nah, I was broke, right?
You're right. I'll pay for your taxi or I'll pay for your bus pass.
I'm gonna walk you to your crib.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying? Like,
that's the gentleman thing.
I ain't even got nothing to drive, so you know what I mean.
But you know what? I think they bring it upon themselves, right? So the guys, right? You got to be that desperate to be on social media, to put out your thirst traps, to find somebody that is cross country, to then pay for their plane ticket and bring them in. Now you got to wine and dine them. And then you got these expectations. Well, she came, so I'm assuming that she's, going to have sex with me. Well, you know what they say when you assume.
Oh,
you make an ass out of you and me. You hear me?
Yeah.
And the women put themselves in predicaments because you got sex trafficking going on, man. You don't know who's on the other side.
Nah.
You understand? I mean, you got people getting sex trafficked.
You don't.
And you getting flown out. You thinking, oh, because of my looks, I'm getting flown out. So I must be, the ish.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you don't understand. You got to put out. Somebody's not going to be spending all that money not thinking you're not going to do nothing in return.
You got to come off that thing.
Right.
You got to come off it. I think, well, let me ask you this. So.
You want to take the shot?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it, man. Beluga. Shout out to Beluga.
Beluga.
Turkish.
Turkish vodka. So, let's say you're a single guy.
Okay.
You see the thirst trapping female with the one leg up, doing that, sexy, got the wagon showing. You fly her out. Let's say you fly her, she live in Texas. You fly her to Philly.
Right.
Don't even know her. She cool.
We've had conversations. Right.
You knock it down. Y'all go crazy. I'm talking wild, crazy sex, all this other.
Right.
Do you think you could wife her? Or was it just...
No. She was easily bought.
So that's my question. So that's the point. So relationships, that is like normalcy now.
That's just, it's all about fun.
It's all about fun.
Nobody looks at the future at all.
Nobody does.
No.
Nobody does. And I'm saying, that's understanding, even in a young man's situation, like, nah, I probably can't wife that up. But, you know, this is what it is now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think young women even want to be wifed up at this point.
Well, it's a culture going on, right? And when I say culture, and I'm going to look at this camera right here, it's being promoted through music. It's being promoted through social media. There's no structure. There's no promotion of family, of roles within families. Now the woman got to be the man and the woman at the same time. She don't need the man. The man needs 20 women. Yeah. And then you wonder why your kids are shooting up the block going to jail.
That's a whole other subject.
So we got the family structure being devoured. You got the new music where the women is promoting selling themselves. Because if we want to look at it, y'all making it hot to be a prostitute. Because that's exactly what you are. Right or wrong. If I'm paying for sex, you a prostitute.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? We used to look down upon prostitutes when we was kids. Don't go over there, they got prostitute. Now y'all done promoted it. You know, now it's cool and sexy to be a prostitute. You putting a price on yourself. I don't like that, man.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta with a couple of my friends, and we were walking into the spot, and it's a bunch of young ladies coming out, and it was a young girl's birthday. She had like 30 like the 30 balloons, like 30 was 30. Yep. And so one of the guys says, you know, happy birthday. And it's probably like a group of 5 girls.
Right.
And one of the guys like, yo, happy birthday. And one of her friends was like, it's her birthday. You gonna give her some money? Don't even know him. Mm-hmm. But that's like normal now. Like
very normal.
So let's say, all right, yeah, I got some money. Take the stack real quick. Now what?
What you gonna give me?
What you gonna give me?
Right.
And they might give up something.
All day. You ain't even gotta pay a lot, man.
Nah.
You got people, listen, man, it's gotten to the point, and it's so sad, man, it's gotten to the point where we got monkeypox now. You hear me? And it's all because of y'all. Y'all want to be out there sleeping with everybody.
I like when you're in this space, man. I love it. Go ahead, let's go. I like.
We got monkeypox now, man. We got people you look like you got eyeballs up under your chins now, man.
Have you been drinking on your show yet? Is it the first?
Oh,
yeah, we about to get crushed.
Man.
Let's do it. Let's go.
When you specifically said, listen, I'm going to bring a drink, I said, let's do it, man. It's the first time, man.
Cheers, bro.
Listen, it's a beautiful thing.
Let's go.
Man. We about to do it again.
We going to get home safe? Okay. Oh, it's all there.
That hit hard right there.
Yeah.
Hit hard right there, man. But, no, with all due respect, it's gotten to the point where the men and the women are not even thinking about their future, right? They doing a lot of stupid stuff in a young age, and you don't realize, like, the objective is eventually you're going to get old. Eventually you want a companion that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. If you already dirtying up your rep because you got all this mileage on you and you got all these bodies, it's not going to be too favorable on you when you get older.
No. And you're going to be weather beaten and smoked out, and your box going to be a little more loose.
Yeah, you ain't got a box.
You ain't got
the
a
box.
Is
flat.
The box is flat. The box
you got to assemble it like a Home Depot.
You got to bring it back together. Yeah, because you'd have been used. Yeah.
So, this is the reason why a lot of people hate it, and I love this man, man. It's the reason why a lot of people hated Kevin Samuels.
Oh,
man.
The legend.
He's a legend,
legend.
And a lot of people were upset about what he was saying.
Rest in peace.
Right.
Man.
But he was speaking the truth. A lot of people didn't want to hear that. Nobody. I'm gonna be honest with you. The woman that I'm with, I don't want her to have a whole reputation of having 1,000 dudes behind me.
Yeah.
we may not even talk about the subject, but I just know the way you are. You're not promiscuous.
Nah.
You know, and the way you act is, you know, accordingly.
You got some sensibility about you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, like I said, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. The most important thing about him was he said the things that men wanted to say, but we don't say because we don't want to argue or fight about it, right?
We're afraid of the consequences.
Yeah, it's consequences was being said. So he kind of spoke for men, and when he was saying truthful things, women got offended.
Absolutely.
You know, I could say to my lady something that's factual, and if it's true and it hurts, she gonna have a problem with it.
All day.
It's just what it is.
All
So
day.
I appreciate that, but to your point, even with your lady, like, even if she did have, chick had 1,000 bodies, how you handle yourself? You know, you probably went through a run. Everybody had their run. I had my run.
Of course, everybody.
Like, I had my run.
Right.
But at a certain point, you realize, like, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. This is the benefit to me, not tearing up every piece of ass I see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or me just really not having my dick in the street and
Right.
just minding my business. You know what I'm saying? It's important to do. So, like, it's a different time now. Relationships is weird. Everybody's sleeping with everybody, I think.
Please say that again. Relationships are what?
Relationships are
They
weird.
weird, man.
Yeah. It's so like, it's
It's
crazy.
weird.
It's crazy.
So I was watching The Pivot, right?
Mhm.
First of all, love that podcast. But they had Kevin Hart on there.
Yeah.
And I think my man was Freddie Gibbs. It was Freddie, the boy with the braids. What's his name? Anyway,
I should know this.
he said that him and his wife like to go to nudist colonies.
I'm shaved as shit.
He like, right. He said he liked to be around people that are nude, right? And Kevin Hart was confused by what he was saying, right? But he was like, okay, so what do y'all do when y'all out there? Y'all just hanging around, you know? And Kevin Hart ended up telling this story about how his comedian friend from Philly ended up wanting to do a swingers type of arrangement with another couple because he was trying to get to the other woman. But you know, your wife got to put out, right? And he said one of the worst images he continues to have in his head is a man blazing his wife, buttering her croissants, glazing her donuts. Do you understand what I'm saying? He said he can't get that out of his head till this day, my man.
My marriage wouldn't last.
No.
I'd be like, nah.
You got to keep that sacred. You got to keep that
You
marriage
enjoyed
bed
that?
sacred.
Yeah, and again, like, this sexuality thing, man, it's fluid anyways. Like, and I get it. I don't knock nobody. Like, but
Do what you do.
All these different, it's bisexuality. It's all these different names that I don't know. So I don't
All
want to sound like
sexuality.
but I'm saying that's cool and all. But I also think, first, whoever people do what they do. I get it. Like,
Right.
Is it my thing? No, that don't make it wrong. It's just not my thing.
Right.
But on the same note, like, certain things is a bit much.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nudist colonies, everybody banging everybody. If y'all cool with it, I know some couples who are like that. They
Right,
cool with
right.
it. It's not my thing.
Right.
I feel like,
Don't they call them like pineapples or something? Is it like? Ain't it like a code name? Pineapples.
it's something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's all
Hey
different.
man, put another beluga in there.
Hey,
man.
man, let's go. Goddamn. I ain't gonna tell you no.
But
on the Doscinco.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Because my thing is this, right? It all sounds cool. It all sounds fun, and it might be fun at that moment. But what's the future consequences of that? While you're being intimate with your partner, in the back of your mind, you're thinking about what just happened.
I would say this. This is just my experience. It's not fact. But all the friends I have that I know that have done this swinger thing, the homeboy tell his lady, let's bring another chick in the room.
Yep.
I don't know anybody that the girl brought another guy in the room. I think that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like if my lady was like, we bring another, like, nah.
Right.
Nah. But for those couples that I do know, it hasn't worked.
No,
it never lasts.
Never does.
It never lasts.
Because y'all playing, y'all experimenting, and now, I mean, what happens in a situation where y'all end up doing this arrangement, you go forward with it, and now guess what? She enjoyed it. So now she doing her own separate arrangements by herself.
Yeah.
You know, now you off the reservation.
She get knocked down. You don't even know it.
Right. She
You at
get
work.
knocked down. You don't even know. You know, so it's
She's
just
not answering the phone when you're on your lunch break.
Right.
She getting torn apart.
Right. She getting torn apart, man. You know why
By
you
the
eating your
dude
ham?
you introduced it to.
While you eating a ham and cheese sandwich, she over there getting a little.
She getting that slice of bread switched up.
Right. Exactly. You know, she getting her toast buttered. You understand? It's a weird generation. The sad reality is our kids are being grown up. You know, they're growing into it.
Yeah.
So I got to keep my kids grounded. I got to let them know, listen, like, this is what a woman's supposed to do. This is the way she's supposed to act. And you got to be mindful because that stuff will mess up your whole mindset, man.
For sure.
I mean, we've all been in relationships where sometimes the relationships go sour and that'll mess up your whole head for a long time. It's traumatizing.
Man.
It's traumatizing.
Oh, you good. Y'all good.
We got people going past the room, y'all.
You just probably edit that out, though. Oh, no.
No, it's all good. Listen, we're going to keep it running, man. It's real deal Holyfield out here, man.
They threw me off. What was we talking about? Chick?
So we was talking about how, hold on, I got even thrown off. Hold on. We was talking about the kids, right? We was talking about how we got to keep the kids grounded to let them know what's right and what's wrong as they growing up. Because right now you got babies trying to raise babies. Right now they putting their own agenda out there. We talking about sneaky links. They promoting sneaky links like that's nothing. My thing is this, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you because I've been on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the side where I committed infidelity. I kept it quiet. Now I'm in the room looking at my, significant other at the time, and now I'm like, what if she doing the same thing? That start messing with your head.
Because it was so easy for you to move around.
Right, so easy. Yeah. So I'm like, if it's so easy for me, it sure might be easy for her.
No, she did it.
Right, because I heard that females know how to cover it up better than men.
Man, they geniuses.
Right, geniuses, right? You won't even know until 20 years later.
Nah.
Did you hear about the couple that was, I think they was 96 and 94?
Yeah, I heard about it.
My man divorced his wife.
Out of there. Done.
He found out she cheated 40 years ago.
But you know what? That might have been, you know what? It's petty. That's petty as hell.
He divorced her at 96.
At 96, 60 years of marriage or something like that.
Right. She did him 34 years.
It might have been a crossroad where he looked in her face and was like, yo, tell me the truth.
Right.
Did you fuck him?
Right.
I swear to God, I didn't. I was at your mom's house. You know what I'm saying? She probably did all of that.
You was at the drive-in.
I'm going to believe you, right?
Right. You was at the drive-in.
There wasn't no phones back then, probably.
There wasn't no phones, man.
So she was probably moving and grooving. Mm-hmm. Coming to find out, that kid probably ain't his. Or whatever it might be. Who knows, right? But it was something where he was like, you lying motherfucker. I'm out.
I'm done.
I don't care. That's a man with principle, and I could hang around him.
I can, yeah. You know what? To be with somebody for 60 years, you find out some dirt that she did 40 years ago, and you decide to divorce her at 96, 97?
Yeah.
Man, that's G stuff right there, right? That's G.
That's a man with principle. It's certain things, and any relationship I've had specifically, even the one I'm in now, like, if we have a fight about something and you swore on a stack of Bibles, it wasn't like that. Oh my God, man, I didn't do it. I wasn't with him. Mm-hmm. And I find out later that it was.
It's done.
What you expect me to do? Because if the tables was turned, you would feel the same way. If I'm telling you, no, she's just my homegirl and I'm nailing her nonstop, then you find out she pregnant or something crazy. Mm-hmm. She gone. It ain't no question asked. You know what I mean? So
yeah, done.
I shout out to my 90-year-old homeboy. I'm gonna send him some flowers.
You did your thing.
I'm gonna send him some flowers, man.
You did your thing.
He needs his flowers. He deserves his flowers.
When she was getting ran through in that 67 Chevy, you did exactly what you were supposed to do. Yeah, me.
Yo, listen.
You know, you going to that nursing home by yourself.
On your dollar.
I ain't putting the poly grip on your dentures.
On top of that, Freddie, it's chicks in the nursing home.
Right.
And they give you pills so you can get active on your way out. You got a couple good more sessions in you, bro. You don't need her. Right. Get her out of there.
All day.
Heard? Get out of there. All right.
That's it.
Shout out to Fred.
Shout out to Fred, man. Come on, let's get that. Man. Let's get that in.
Stand to your principle, bro.
What's this? The fourth shot?
I thought we were just sipping that one. That's why. We'll take it in.
That beluga.
Just
That joint took me to Turkish, man.
took
me to Turkish.
I'm glad you drinking on this show, man.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, we got you.
Listen,
man.
I love it, man. Bro. Listen, you don't understand. When it goes into the bloodstream, brother, and when you on cloud 9, it's beautiful, man. It's like a gorgeous feeling. You understand what I'm saying? It's a gorgeous feeling, man.
Absolutely, brother.
You know, it's a gorgeous feeling, man. But yeah, man, relationships are tough, man. So quick question, man. What do you think would be great, like great advice for somebody in a relationship you know, from a man's perspective, what should they look for in a woman?
Oh, shit. The first thing, I tell all the youngins this, the first thing you don't want to do is become enamored with that vagina. Because the sex, she could be phenomenal. She could be blowing air in your ass and all types of like crazy shit doing to you where you just, I mean, you could, it's true, right?
Right.
And you just don't even know what to do with yourself. He's like, I love her so much. But the physical is blinding all the attributes that she might not have that you need.
Right.
So I was in a situation at one point in my life where I dated this girl, completely overly sexual woman. Right. I'm thinking it's the best thing, that she is just like, if there's a standard of a woman, this is it, right?
That's it. Yep.
She had nothing else to offer. You know, no financial goals. When I first met her, I think her car was being repossessed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I just loved her because she just was doing all this crazy sexual shit.
Right.
But, you know, no financial goals, really not striving to be anything, you know what I'm saying? Not supporting me, not challenging me, lifting me up. You know, everything was toxic. And that's so cliche now too, but at that point in time, it was really, really toxic. And it was just sexual. So I say this to young men, like, if she is not, or whatever, she, he, whatever, is not building you up, not creating your trajectory to go like this, not challenging you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? My lady, you know, she get on my nerves, but
They all do. Right.
But I'd be lying if I didn't say, you know, she didn't have a big piece in my trajectory of where I'm at now. And I think you need that.
Right.
Because, you know, your woman is, you know, your mental, spiritual, physical, that's the person that's going to get every emotion out of you, right? Whoever your person is, your companion. And so they see that if they not like, all right, you can do better.
Right.
Or you need to do this, or don't do that, and they're not really your coach. In a sense, like you're not your coach, not your cheerleader, then you're wasting your time.
That's so true.
And so in this situation, like, I don't want nobody that, even in friendships, but in relationships specifically, I don't want nobody that's not willing to say, yo, you can do better.
Right.
What's your next move? How can I help?
Right.
It's not about, oh, well, we every day and, you know, we got, you know, leather chains hanging from the ceiling and I walk in the room and she can't get it. No, it's really like, and that's cool. You need that.
Right.
You need some sort of intimacy, but
Sometimes
I'm saying.
you got to put a gag ball on
every now and then you got to put the leather mask on and the leather chaps.
That's it.
Just get after it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But
if that person is not invested, and you learn this in maturity too, but if that person is not invested in your success, don't have them around.
I agree.
With anybody, but specifically with the person that you lay in bed with. Because I'm telling you, you're wasting your time with all this sex.
Right.
Because at a certain point, and I tell everybody,
it get old.
Part of my language, that pussy get old.
It get old.
It get old.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
And then you start to realize, what am I doing?
Right.
And now 2 or 3 years then went by, and now you could have been, you know, the next. And, you know, I mean, you could have been the next CEO, but you missing out a chance because you're chasing this tail. That ain't helping you. So
that is so true, man. Let me tell you one thing, and I gotta acknowledge, and I'm gonna be absolutely honest, right? I don't promote no chick on social media, right? What I mean by that is, on social media, I would never put up a girl on there. I would never profess my love on social media. When Queen came around, I call her Queen, you know, and when she came around, she does exactly she is my motivator. She encourages me. She ensures, like, sometimes I don't feel like doing a podcast episode. She said, you better go out there and go get it done, right? Yeah. So she's behind me on that, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, she's always been such a great support, and she's never been a hater, you know?
Yeah.
And because of that, and because of my loyalty, let me tell you something. If I was with a chick and she been out in the streets, you know, and she's more out in the streets than traffic lights, then I'm not putting you on social media. You making me look bad.
Yeah.
Queen, I put her out there 24/7. I buy flowers and I show it.
And I love it.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Shout out to the Queen.
Shout out to Queen. K Valentine, go follow her.
Come
She's
on
trying to
now.
get to 1,000 followers.
I follow her.
You know, she's
a
doing
good
her
person.
thing. Right, she's a
beautiful,
good person.
beautiful human being.
Right, beautiful human being. And the thing is, they rare,
Yeah.
and that's the sad reality of it. Because even if you look at the songs from back in the day, you listen to Temptations, you listen to all these people. They talking about chasing a woman, but chasing a woman for the right reasons, the romance. Nowadays, they talking about slutting a female out, and it's sad. And it's so sad because nowadays you got the females, they thinking that that's cool. Oh, he gonna slut me out. That's no problem. I'm gonna keep it moving. Well, where's your dignity at, man?
Yeah.
You know? It's a sad reality. You know, females don't even want to get married no more. They just want to get slutted out. And as long as they get that bag, they cool. As long as they are attached to a label, they cool.
Yeah.
Give me a Louis Vuitton and I'll do a sexual favor for you.
Yeah.
Give me the Hermes and I'll do a sexual favor for you.
And you do see that a lot with women, probably men too, but with women, you know, tangible things, you know, car, the purse, the shoes, whatever, that they feel like that justifies their worth, that justifies I don't need nobody.
Right.
But, I mean, companionship was designed for you to have somebody.
Right.
Number one. And number two, it's not admirable because you're probably avoiding other things you don't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you justify it through buying a bunch of shit.
I agree.
And I shout out to any woman that can afford what they want to afford. Or if somebody buy it, whatever.
All day, right.
I feel like it's just not, I don't know. It's one of these things where it's a weird time. And I ain't saying everybody got to be in a relationship, but I also think like being able to be in a relationship says a lot about where your mental is and who you are. In a functional, positive relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It says a lot about who you are. And so
I totally agree, man. And to be able to lay down with that person and, man, put another little shot in there.
I got you.
But to be able to lay in bed with that person knowing that everything is good is priceless, man.
That's the best feeling.
It's hard to lay in bed with somebody knowing that she been out in them streets.
Knowing that you just don't trust that motherfucker.
That you don't trust. Let's talk about it, right? You got a lot of people, especially dudes, and talking to y'all dudes out there, right?
Bro.
Talking to y'all dudes that's in the streets, that's rocking out for your men, that's, you know, we ain't snitching on nobody, right? We staying 10 toes down, right?
We don't do that. We don't snitch.
We gonna be tried by 12 or carried by 6.
Talk to them, boy.
I'm talking about y'all.
Ooh.
You, Cassidy,
Ooh.
right? If you doing your significant other dirty and she been loyal to you down to the soil, what makes you think that you gonna be loyal to your mans if he get caught up or he get bound up on some charges? You can't even be loyal to the person you sharing your finances with. You can't even be loyal to the person you had your kids with. And you can't even be loyal to the person that you laid down with and that you sleep with overnight.
It's a character thing.
You know?
Or, I like that. Could it be misunderstood loyalties?
Explain that.
You could literally have a dude, have a guy, dude, whatever. I don't, you know, they got his baby moms who loves his dirty drawers.
Right.
You know, kids, crib. That's probably that's your foundation. That's probably the most unconditional loyalty you have.
Right.
But you can be disloyal to that and cheat on your lady, mess with her homegirls, running the streets, in the club, buying bottles on social media, all this other stuff.
Because you know she gonna be there.
Yeah.
Y'all got kids together.
But your loyalty to your block, to your crew, to your guys, you're more loyal to that than your own family. And I think it's a disconnect in our cultures,
right. Right.
For whatever reason, it's necessary or it's admirable to be loyal to your crew, your guys, more than your own family.
That's deep.
Your personal family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not cousins and sisters. I mean, like your household.
Right.
It's a weird thing that we live in now.
It's a weird thing, but I'm gonna be absolutely honest, right? When you got yourself a good woman, she gonna rock out with you. I've had multiple situations where Queen rocked out with me from the beginning to the end. I'm talking about loyalty. I'm talking about ready to rumble and everything, and she there ready to rock out for me. You know what I'm saying?
She down
And
for
my
it.
thing is, like, if you think about this Young Thug situation where him and his whole team about to do a whole RICO, you got 6 people ready to testify against them. You understand?
It's 6 now? They really do?
It's about 6. That's what I heard from DJ Academics.
I'll be honest, man. I don't listen to it. Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your point. The RICO situation is so bad for them that I just don't even try to hear it no more. Because I just don't. Just tell me what happened at the end.
It's going to be bad,
It's about
period.
to be nasty.
Terrible.
And they're going to start telling on each other.
Yep, terrible. And the thing is, when you start throwing years at people, people start compromising. That's why I think it's best. And I know we changing subjects, y'all, but that's why I think sometimes you gotta leave the streets alone.
It ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody. And even for the everybody that is for, y'all need to get out of it. Because my thing is this: why waste your time doing 40 years in prison? For what? For what? What you doing 40 years for? What you doing 30 years for?
Well, even now, this generation, and I sound like some old niggas, but this generation.
We sound like dudes from the 70s that was like back in my day.
We do.
Yeah.
Like these kids, man, that rap music, what is that? Rickety rap. Like, no, it's cool, it's admirable in their eyes. It's respected to do them. So, Philadelphia is at, what is it 300 or 400 murders now?
I haven't counted, but I'm glad I'm not one.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I'll stay my behind right
That's
there
a
with
fact.
the trees
No, that's
and the
a fact,
deer.
bro. That's a fact. It's to a point where if you didn't shoot somebody, you're not really respected. And that is a crazy mindset that
It's
we
a
dealing with
mindset,
now.
right?
It's different. And so in all these situations, you got kids who was never really even like that.
Yep.
Taking lives.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to tell them
with no
people.
problem.
They're a product of their environment. This could have been the next, Rhodes Scholar who just so happened to live in Southwest Philly at the time.
Yep.
And just became a product of his block and didn't go to school and kill somebody or got killed. And so it's a time when nobody's really making sense of anything except violence on social media.
Yep.
Providing a up perception that you got money and you don't on social media.
Right.
Girls thirst trapped on social media.
Yep.
Guys thirst trapped on social media.
Yep.
It's just a mess right now with this age.
It's weird, man. And they know because social media is the TV for we're going to take the shot.
Look, I'll let you finish your point.
All right.
No rush.
Social media is the TV of this generation.
Yeah.
That's the way these kids is learning. Let me tell you, my kids was born and raised in the suburbs, right? I did that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in what they call the Badlands. I said my kids will be raised in the good lands.
Yeah.
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 And my son, I was playing around with him. I picked him up from his mom's house yesterday, right? And I threw up a gang sign at him, just playing around. I was like, I did that from afar. My man he do this. I'm like, hold on, that's Young Thug. Ain't that the slime? What's that called? When they do that? Ain't that YSL's thing where they do that? I was like, hold on, where you get that from? Social media, brother. This is what's raising our kids, and our kids are being heavily influenced by it. But I want to take a step back because I think it's very deep, and the beluga is really tapping into.
Come on, man.
Let's take it, man.
It's feeling a little better now. Going down, right? So that's probably buzz now. Go ahead.
It's tapping into brain cells I ain't used in decades. You hear me?
Welcome. Come on in.
But if we really want to look at it, why is it that our music genre, rap and hip hop, which was used as a way to bring awareness to problems and issues back in the day and to talk about the atrocities that were happening in our community, why is it that it's being used as a weapon to influence individuals to self-destruct themselves in our communities? You understand? We talk about, right, and let's be real, we talk about this Black Lives Matter, right, movement. And I'm all for the movement if we're going to use it correctly. But we can't say Black Lives Matter if it only matters when somebody else outside the community does something to us. Now, when I say beluga, it's tapping in.
Come on. I like it.
It's tapping in because now, right, you start to dive in.
Yeah, you're going in, bro.
To the issues.
I like when you're in this
hand.
space. I like when you're in this space because you start talking deep.
Right. And my thing is this, right? Music, like when you really listen to it, when you listen to the old Nas and you listen to the old Tupacs, they were all about uplifting and talking about the issues within our community. Nowadays, we promoting going to jail and being thorough at going to jail.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, man. And the mindset that we only cool when we on D Block or we on, you know, when we in jail and we around our friends, that's bogus to me, man, because we not talking about uplifting our people.
No, we're not. And I think the lack of guidance, man.
Yes.
It's one of these things where you got parents that are younger, they raising these kids and they kids themselves, they never really dealt with their own shit, or they never really had their ability. I worked at this alternative high school, right?
Okay.
And I had young girls there who come from a broken home. They homeless, 17, 18, 19 years old. They get pregnant. They having a baby.
Right.
They're not established with anything. They don't have a job. They don't have a career. They don't have a place to stay. But you bring another child into this world. 20 years later, you know, you 39, your son 20 years old. In most cases, unfortunately, they haven't progressed. They've in that same environment they've always been.
Right.
Your child's grown up in that same environment. It just keeps repeating itself, the cycle of poverty, the cycle of lack of education, the cycle of trauma.
Yep.
I don't care who you are, how old you are. If you see somebody get killed at any age, it f***s with you no matter what.
It's going to traumatize you.
If you see your father leave and never come back, it f***s with you.
Yep.
If you see your mother getting beat on, drugs, men in and out of the house, or you just, it f***s with you. So we keep doing this cycle until we can educate. And I know this sounds like a preachy thing and this far-fetched idea, but until we can educate our youngins, educate their parents at this point,
right?
It's not going to change in any neighborhood, any urban neighborhood.
Yep.
Puerto Rican, Black, African, Cambodian, anything. Like, it's the same cycle that we go through where nothing is changing.
Right.
So now we got, because I'm 39, right? So my son is 22. He's at a point, he can, I mean, probably when he was 16, he probably could have had kids, but like 22 now, he can have a kid at any point.
Yeah.
I'm a grandfather.
Right.
Right? It's a different ball game. I have a responsibility to him and to my grandchild.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just that matter of I'm still young. I feel like I'm still young. I'm still young.
You look good for your age.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're a good-looking guy, man. You're doing your thing, man.
I drink water. You know what I mean?
I drink water.
In Beluga, Turkish vodka. But needless to say, I say all that to say, like, we got a responsibility because this shit out of hand.
Right.
This city is losing its goddamn mind.
Yes. Yes.
And if you really look at what's happening, because I think the federal government got involved now, but you look at what's happening, you got 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds every day in the news between the ages of 18 to 22 that either been killed or they shot somebody.
Or even younger than that.
16.
Did you hear about the 10 to 14-year-olds that ended up killing that 70-something-year-old man in Philadelphia?
73-year-old.
Right, right. You end up killing my man now. You might end up serving life in prison because they ain't playing. They quick to lock y'all up. You understand? And this is first of all, why are y'all out at this time of night?
That's my point.
That's my thing, is lack of guidance. And the sad reality is we gotta stop talking about, you know, and I'm just preaching facts. We gotta stop talking about Black Lives Matter if it doesn't even matter to us.
It don't.
You know, if it doesn't matter to us, because at the end of the day, if we can't control our own communities and if we can't provide respect for our own communities, then how the heck do we expect others outside the community to respect us?
Yeah, it's a joke. Listen, I felt this way, and it became a point where supporting Black Lives Matter, if you didn't, you was racist. Right? That was the message. And I was supporting it at one point, but my question was always, well, what are we doing with this?
Right.
Like,
It ain't like back in the day, MLK, Malcolm X.
No.
It ain't like that.
They feel like Black Lives Matter, we go protest, we yell, we might have some sort of fisticuff situation with law enforcement, but we did our job. No. Why aren't we taking money and implementing amnesty days so turning their guns?
Yes.
Or going to school and really having after-school programs for these kids where they don't just go to their block and smoke weed at 13 because they ain't got nothing else to do.
Right.
So what are we doing with all this money we put into Black Lives Matter? I still don't know until I find out something crazy. I think that the founder bought a mansion or something crazy.
She got like 6 of them.
Real just ignorant shit.
Right.
And I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to speak on it. But what I do know, what I see is Black Lives Matter as a financial kind of ploy to really take advantage of the George Floyd situation. Rest in peace.
Right.
But what have we done in urban communities?
Mm-hmm.
Urban communities, specifically Black urban communities.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it even dumb it down more. Metropolitan city Black area communities. Right. What have you done? Mm-hmm. I have not seen, and I could be wrong, Daryl, but I have not seen any Black Lives Matter campaign in Philadelphia that went to any elementary in Southwest Philly,
right,
and started an after-school program, a food program.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So kids can eat when they get, have food to go home with.
Yep. Talk
about the importance of living, gun violence.
Yep.
What to see, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Absolutely.
But you always see it on the goddamn news that somebody's protesting. I don't want your protest.
We tired. If you
what does it do?
Right. I mean, I totally agree. If you look at old, and you already know, you want to pour another one?
I mean, yeah, go ahead. You're talking.
If you look at a lot of, and I was just watching this not too long ago, you already know I'm a big Tupac Shakur fan, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
I was looking at one of his speeches, and he said back in 92, this was after the Rodney King riots, right? He said, we done with protesting. We having anniversaries on what we protested with on 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We done with the protesting and the marching.
Yeah.
My thing is, when we gonna start doing implementation?
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So it's almost like 20 years later, 30 years later, since his last speech, we still doing the same stuff. And the reason why I say we, obviously y'all all know I'm not Black. I'm Puerto Rican. I got Black in me.
That's Black.
You understand? No, listen.
Where I'm from.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about that, right? If y'all don't know, for those that are outside the Puerto Rican culture,
talk to it, bro.
Puerto Rican is an ethnicity that has Spaniard, it has Black, and it has indigenous from Puerto Rico in us. I got Black in me, so I can speak on it. But anyway, let's talk about it, right? The problem is, we are always showing our ignorance around the other communities, and we don't really give ourselves the self-respect. And I'm gonna tell you why, right? Hip hop was supposed to be a platform, a media that was meant to spread awareness, that was meant to really dig into the hearts of individuals, right? But from the music that we listen to now, what are we listening to? We listening to people smoking on Tuka. People that died, you know what I'm saying? We hear people trying to, kill Tom, Dick, and Harry. You know what I'm saying? People trying to rape our own women, putting mollies in their drink.
Absolutely.
We are showing everything, every device needed in order to destroy our communities. We are using that as an influential path behind a great melody to promote this type of nonsense. And it's being backed, funded by other cultures, and they continue to put that out there. You don't hear that from country music.
Nah, hell no.
You don't hear that from pop music.
Rock and roll.
You don't hear that from rock and roll.
Nah.
You only hear that from rap and hip hop, which is predominantly done by the African community, African American community, with a little sprinkle of Hispanics in there every now and then. And that's a problem. When we gonna open our eyes and see it? I'm gonna pass it on to you.
We're not, because here's the thing. The reality of this situation is this.
And this wasn't part of the topic.
No,
I'm glad we're talking
we're
on
just
it.
flowing. We really don't have
I'm glad we're talking on it.
We don't have no direction. We're just going. No, it's entertainment is influential.
Right.
I think you also got, you have financial institutions and record labels and yada, yada, yada that support, like there used to be campaigns, right? And I feel like it was like in the Jet magazine back in the day or Ebony, where they would put like Newport ads and they would put like malt liquor ads.
Right.
And, I don't want to say Hennessy, but it's Hennessy ads because, that's a drink in the hood too. But
it's a good drink, by the way.
Yeah, there's always, it is good. And it gets you to fight at times if you drink it the wrong way.
It ain't like Beluga, though.
Nah, Beluga is for class.
Beluga is all about celebration. Man, show that bottle so you can see the celebration.
This is for grown-up.
That's a good bottle.
This is mature. This is a maturity drink. But it's just one of those things where it's strategized for us to really kill ourselves.
Right.
If you drill music right now, since we're on the topic of music.
Yes.
New York drill music, right? Chicago drill music too, whatever. Either or, I feel like they're different, but they're the same. No, they're different, but they kind of got the same message.
Right.
Drill music is, I'm a killing this and that, kill.
Right.
They backing it with, they backing artists with $10 million contracts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
To promote a message.
A message.
Right.
So when I see now the new thing is drill music, but you'll get on social media, and I only know this just in Philly because some of my former students either got killed or was involved in some stuff, but they disrespecting the dead now with this drill music.
Yeah.
And then they actually getting deals.
For disrespecting the dead.
And then they get killed.
Right.
And so it's one of these things like.
And I heard that the record labels are putting life insurance policies on these artists because they know they're going to die.
You beat me to the punch. So now, we sign artists. If he make us money, either way, we're going to make money off it.
All day.
If he die, all right, cool. We get the insurance policy, we good. If he actually has some sort of longevity or a little window of success, we make money. But the message is still the same. Mm-hmm. You're going to kill. I'm supporting killing my own people, and I get paid for it.
Yep.
That's really the what am I saying? That's really the structure of it.
Right.
And it's stupid.
Yep.
I don't get it, but I'm also sounding like the old man on the porch because I like old school rap that meant something. But now It's just I'm gonna kill this dude and I'm gonna kill somebody that look just like me, and y'all gonna love what I say, and that's it. I'm gonna disrespect every woman possible.
Yep.
And I'm still gonna make my money, and that's what it is. So I don't know. I'm going on a tangent.
It's a sad reality, man, and it kind of like I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna get emotional because Beluga ain't gonna put me there yet. But it kind of bothers me, man, because I think Black culture is such a powerful culture. You know what I'm saying? Like think about it. Fashion stems from it. Music stems from it. Somebody's swag can stem from it. It's such a great, unique culture. And the fact that we, like almost every week, we are saying, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, XXX Tentacion. It used to be, back in the day, it used to be every 5 years or every 10 years. Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur.
Yeah.
Or rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. But it's almost like an everyday thing now.
It's everyday thing now.
You understand? And it's kind of sad because we think that that's the norm. And it shouldn't be that way.
No, it shouldn't.
It should be about uplifting the people. It should be about spreading awareness to the people. You understand? Like, it's not like that no more. All we doing is spreading messages on how we can kill each other faster. And we ain't doing nothing but subjecting ourselves to, is it the Willie Lynch? Willie Lynch,
no point.
Subjecting ourselves to Willie Lynch's letter that he said on how to control the slaves.
The slaves, yeah.
That's still the same
exactly
mindset to this day.
It hasn't changed.
And it's sad. And we being looked at as the Uncle Tom, so to speak, or the people on the porch. Because of the fact that we trying to guide them a certain way, but in all actuality it's considered not cool.
Nah, we got
because
sense.
We ain't going in that way.
We got sense, we staying alive.
Right.
And we see, as in you and I,
right.
We see, and we come from two different cultures, but it's the same.
Still the same.
And I stand on this. Puerto Rican is Black. I'll circle back to that. But we stand.
I'm glad that you gave me the brother call.
Yeah, man.
I
let me tell you
appreciate that, brother.
First of all, we can start here.
Right.
Talking about hip hop. Hip hop originated in New York. New York is a melting pot of just different cultures and
Black
races.
and Puerto Ricans.
Specifically Black and Puerto Ricans.
Right.
So if you go to any clip from the 1980s, you're going to see a black dude battling a Puerto Rican dude.
Right.
And so when it be artists with like, and so where I'm from, Hartford, Connecticut, shout out to my hometown, Hartford, Connecticut.
Yep.
You know, we went to school in elementary with Puerto Rican dudes, Puerto Rican girls.
Mm-hmm.
They're my people.
Right.
You know, they're my niggas all day long.
Yep.
It never changed that. So I think when I got to Philly, I could see the separation only because I don't know if it's really, man, you could speak to it.
Yeah.
We're going all over the place in these conversations.
It's all good.
You can speak to it, but when I got here, I felt like the Puerto Rican culture, maybe the Latin culture, was separate from the Black culture.
Right.
I do know the Black culture in Philly is a little bit more militant.
Yes.
It's a little bit more, religious and they, staying with your own. But I did feel like there was a separation because where I'm from, you literally got a Black person staying next to a Puerto Rican to a Black.
Right.
You still got your pockets of, Puerto Ricans over here, but it was constantly intertwined. So, like, even my son, his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, is Puerto Rican. Because it's just normalized where I'm from.
Right,
like,
of course.
Oh, you dating a Puerto Rican girl? You're like, yeah, okay.
That's normal.
You know what I'm saying? No different than dating a Black girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think here it's a little different, but in my opinion, where I'm from, Puerto Rican is Black.
Yeah. If you really look at, I'm talking about the
Mexican
way I
a little
up.
different. We don't really
of
rock
course.
That way.
But growing up, it was always Black and Puerto Rican. Some of my best friends are Black. Matter of fact, majority of my friends are Black. I don't really think I had Puerto Rican, like best friends or Hispanic best friend. Everybody's been Black. But, overall in the neighborhood, it's always been Puerto Rican and Black. We always looked at ourselves as interchangeable, Yeah. I would probably say once you go to Dominican, once you go to Mexican, once you go to Colombian and things of that sort, that's probably when you get the disparity.
Yeah, a little different.
But when it comes to Puerto Rican and Black, it's kind of interchangeable, I know Fat Joe gets a lot of slack for using the N-word.
I don't get it.
I
don't get it.
I kind of understand it because he's very fair-skinned when you talk about, like the complexion. But when you talk about the neighbor, like even my uncle, right? My uncle Angel Garcia, he uses that word all the time.
Shout out to Angel Garcia.
Shout out to Angel Garcia.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, he's very controversial.
We got to talk about Danny Garcia before we get off this.
We definitely.
Your cousin that was phenomenal.
That fight, we definitely gonna jump into it. But my uncle got a lot of slack to the point where they actually kicked him off of Showtime as far as the speaking engagements moving forward because he kept on using the N-word.
Really?
Right, yeah. So it was the Keith Thurman fight where he used that word a lot. He didn't use the ER. That was a while back. But he didn't use the ER. It was the A. But apparently they blocked him after that. And if you notice a lot of Danny's fights after that, my uncle was not speaking on that. He just recently started speaking after the last fight, right? They finally gave him a chance. They said, okay, you could talk now. Right? But before that, it was that because he was using the N-word and apparently they said that he was using racial slurs. But a lot of people don't realize that in the city of Philadelphia, especially when you're raised in a Black and Puerto Rican culture, that's just the words that we use.
Yes.
That's a sign of love and respect. A lot of people don't see that. But I understand when it comes to a major network.
That is a sign of love, respect, endearment, and trust.
Right.
And I have a loving, Daryl, you're my nigga.
Thank you,
I have a love for
I
you.
appreciate being called that.
I have I'm glad you. Listen, man, I'm telling you, bro. I come from a culture where literally I do you one better. Right. There's certain white dudes, and I can attest to this, and I could tell you offline who these people are. Mm-hmm. But there's white dudes from my neighborhood that could say because they were so entrenched,
right, in
and
culture.
They struggle with us in our neighborhood and the shit we went through.
Right.
That how could they not? Yeah. And there's nothing racist about them, but to this day, they can say it when they feel like it.
Yeah.
And I know it gets in this weird space of what's fair and what's not fair and who could say it. But it's certain people that if all they grew up around was black people,
right,
that's the first thing. But as far as Puerto Ricans go, they part of my culture and vice versa. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
We was made up because of you. Like, if you look at, listen, really look at it,
Let's
right?
Go.
If you look at a cake and you want to build, you need flour, you need sugar, you need salt, you need all these things. Puerto Rican cannot be made if African was not involved in the mix. You understand?
Yeah.
You got majority of my family. Like, we have dark-skinned Puerto Ricans, we got light-skinned Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
You understand? So we was embedded in the same culture. Like, and the thing is, I relate to the black experience more than sometimes I relate to even my own culture, because I was just raised around y'all majority of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we can literally have a whole conversation, crack up, laugh, everything, because we all get it. It's very difficult when you go outside of that.
So let me ask you this. So if you got a crew, right?
Yeah.
You got a crew, and this is probably your situation, but you younger, you got a crew. It's out of 6 guys, 5 of them black, you the only one that's not quote unquote black, you Puerto Rican.
Right.
You telling me in this group of your closest friends that they're gonna have an issue with you saying nigga, they say nigga to you, or they say it around you every day, if that's an issue. It probably was so second nature that you never even thought about it.
Right. Well, first of all, my name's Daryl. Let's talk about that. You understand? My name's Daryl.
And I'm gonna be honest. That's one of the blackest names in black history.
Oh, it's absolutely.
If you name Daryl, I'm
right.
like, yeah, so what'd he do? What my man do? Like, if I never met you, Daryl,
right.
And then you say Irizarry, I'm like,
that don't make no sense. It's a name that
like
doesn't
a black
make any
Italian?
sense.
Like,
right.
Who is he?
It don't make no sense. But first of all,
chicken and lasagna? Like, who is this guy?
If you look at like all of my like my parents, all their siblings, they all have the blackest names ever. I mean, you have Daryl, you got Derek. You know, like it's just crazy, right? Also, my grandmother, whether she admits it or not, she looked red bone. You understand? I think I got more black in my culture and my bloodline than a lot of other people. You understand?
Derek and Daryl, those are black names.
And they twins. My father's a fraternal twin, Derek and Daryl. You understand? My father ended up passing that name on to me. You understand? And
you
also
passed it down too.
And I passed it down. It's a legendary name. Well, it's about to be. But also the way I talk, I don't talk like a typical Spanish guy.
No, you're not.
No,
you have culture to it.
Right. I got a little, oomph to
Gerald,
it.
you black as a mother. Like,
I appreciate you, brother.
Bro. Like I know you well enough to know that you ingrained in just being blackish.
I'm gonna look at this camera and I'm gonna let y'all know. You heard it first. You hear me? You heard it first. If anybody tries to question my existence,
I stand on that.
Me? You know what I'm saying?
This is my brother.
But also what I love, and to stick with the whole, the community aspect of things. Who was, that movie is called Judas and the Messiah?
Yeah, phenomenal movie.
What's the brother's name? The one that passed away at 21.
Huey Newton.
No. Huey Newton was the founder of the Black Panthers. It was the other guy. Anyway,
see, not a beluga
right?
jumping on my ass.
What really showed me leadership back then was the fact that you had these young brothers really trying to make things happen. And you saw the free breakfast club. I mean, the free breakfast program. You saw the free educational program about
I like
uplifting.
How you came full circle with it.
Right.
Yeah, that's my point.
So now it's like, okay, how can we disrupt this? Let's kill the leaders off. Let's throw drugs into the mix. Let's create artificial poverty. And now, which is part of the agenda, which I believe is part of the agenda, let's put out a media of music that is talking about self-destructing.
Yeah.
And that's the way you keep a community down. It's terrible.
Well, here's the thing. To your point, I totally agree, number one. Number two, you got Black Lives Matter. And I'm not bashing Black Lives Matter because it brought awareness. And that's one thing you cannot take. It's going to be catchy.
Yep.
For the rest of our lives, no different than saying COVID. Like,
Right.
Black Lives Matter is what it is. But it distracted us from what we needed to do to fix what was happening.
Right.
Now, it stopped, to be fair, it did help with holding law enforcement accountable.
Yes.
Right? Because, you know, you
Body
see guys,
cams.
all of that, and they
Yep.
going to jail and they being tried and all of that. So
Yep.
it wasn't pointless. My issue is still, what did it do for the community? Now, do I feel better being pulled over by the police? Probably.
Right.
Maybe. I did, you know, it's been times, I'll keep it a buck with you, where I might have ran a red light, especially when that George Floyd thing was hot.
Right.
And they just stayed in their car and was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
you
'cause
know what
they
I'm
ain't
saying?
trying to
Like, they
touch
ain't
that.
trying to. So it gave us that space of like, I don't need to be today.
Right.
But it still did not invest in the community. So we so worried about looking at all these protests. Oh, they done shot another black man. Let's go protest. Let's protest. You got somebody that is sitting on about $12 million, and I don't know why I have the number in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And she buying houses and
Right. When that could
versus
go right to the community.
versus let me give Philadelphia $5 million and have a structured situation where we can do after school programming and hire people and really educate these kids on gun violence and just you can just graduate high school and be all right.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got like 40 to 50% of kids in Philadelphia graduating from high school right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to cook your food halfway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you letting these kids go halfway?
Right.
And so that's my point with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And what you're saying is back then there was a need, there was a movement, there was somebody really trying to do something in the community.
And they were really invested.
They was invested.
We got to stop thinking that it's cool for us to kill our own.
Yeah.
We got to my thing is this, right? And what really kind of strikes a chord is the fact that when you start to hear that children are now being, murdered because of dumb crimes that our own people are doing. That really bothers me because now we wasting lives. And now these individuals are 20-something years old or even less than that, and they passing away. They can't even live the full, they can't even live the full, whatever. They can't live their full capacity of their life because they're passing away at such an early age over stupid stuff.
It's silly. I feel like at this point, I think somebody just came into Philly and just left a pound of guns in every neighborhood and just let kids have it and figure
Go
it out.
at it.
I feel like there's no reason that these kids are being killed like this. It's silly to me. It's
Right.
silly, and I don't understand it. When the mayor's tired, when the mayor's like, "Yo, I can't wait till I'm done with this job," and says that live,
Yep.
you know your city in bad shape.
But I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, right? When we don't know how to act as a community, and when you got this man ain't making no more than probably $150,000 a year. When you really break down them 26 paychecks, that ain't a lot.
It ain't
To
a
run
lot.
an entire city, that ain't really a
It
lot.
ain't
And when you're talking about a murder, imagine this, right?
Talk to him.
Imagine you being a leader of a city and you sleeping at 12 o'clock midnight and you hear about a mass shooting that goes on in your city, right? Whether you like it or not, yeah, he controls the city, whatever. You got to wake up to this every week and you got to give a news conference on how we could be better people.
Yeah.
But we as people don't know how to be better amongst ourselves. And we don't even have respect amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It's a problem.
We got to stop talking about needing more cops on the streets when we, on the same breath, talking about defunding the police.
You can't have it both ways.
You can't say there's a crime on my block and let me call 911, but we
Nah.
talking about eliminating 911. You understand? It's a lot going on. Let's turn to mental health.
Let's
right?
go.
No, matter of fact, let's break it down to goofy.
Oh, you want to talk about goofy shit?
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. So Irv Gotti was on Drink Champs, and he was spilling the beans on a 20-year relationship with Ashanti, and he really aired her out on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna take another shot on this?
Let's go.
Let's do it, man.
You probably need to edit and just like an introduction could be just every time we took a goddamn shot. But go ahead.
Let's do it. So Irv Gotti ended up going on the Drink Champs, and he spilled the beans about his 20-year well, a relationship that transpired 20 years ago with Ashanti. And he basically just aired her out, you know, and he talked fairly bad about her. He seemed like he was still heartbroken by her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. You gotta be really in love to be that heartbroken after 20 years, right? But let's talk about it. He spilled a lot of dirty laundry. He tried to dirty up her name. And she's been real classy with it the entire time. She hasn't spoke ill about him at all.
No, she shouldn't.
She's been real.
She's doing what the roles seem reversed. But
absolutely.
I would say this. It's goofy shit. It's
Right.
goofy shit. And it is bitter. It's a man that had his heart broken. You're mad that a woman didn't want whatever advance you was giving her.
Yep.
And now you're in your feelings. I think it was very disrespectful, just as a man,
right,
to do shit like that. It was some sucker shit. But more importantly, you are talking about your personal moments with a woman in a room full of people.
Yes.
So, Daryl, let's say all the people we know, our friends right now is in this room. I go into detail about a young lady I dealt with 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some issues there that I got to deal with.
Right.
He got bad character. But you see that with a lot of guys.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of guys
Mm-hmm.
who don't know how to deal with their emotions.
Right.
So when a woman say, oh, well, that dude is emotional, he this and that. Yeah, a lot of times they're accurate because men don't know how to deal with certain shit. It's your ego. You got to think. You're talking about a guy who's probably, you know, I think I heard part of the interview where right now he got $250 million in his pocket, right?
Yep.
And it's just one person that don't care. She just don't want you.
Right.
You can't take that.
It's
You dig
because
what I'm
your
saying?
ego is involved.
Your ego's involved.
You know what I love? Shaquille O'Neal. Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. If you ever watch any of these episodes, I need you to watch this segment because I'm about to speak very
Let's go,
highly
Shaq.
of
Shout out to Shaq.
right?
Yeah.
But Shaq said, Shaq, he divorced his wife of many years. He had all his kids by her, right?
Right.
And he says one thing that a man does is a man will always be a protector, right? And he will never speak ill about the person that he was involved with and the person that he had kids with.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look so favorable on you. When you start speaking, that's like me speaking ill about my ex-wife or speaking ill about Queen.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessarily. What am I gaining from
A
that?
man shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that. Now, whatever issues I have
Nobody
behind the
should do that.
scenes should not be exposed in front of everybody.
Neither party really shouldn't do that. You
I
see
agree.
that more, and this is just my experience. I ain't saying it's facts, but you see that more with women that talk about, after the fact. I've been out of relationships and I've heard all type of nonsense, and they probably trying to stay face. It's their ego involved.
Yep.
But as a man, no, I would never, because it's nobody's fucking business.
Right.
And what happened. I've closed that out in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with it. Mm-hmm. I probably went through every possible emotion, whether I was angry, mad, sad, cried, whatever, to get through that, to all of a sudden be like, all right, boom, I'm good on it.
Yep.
I don't even got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to know. That grown man aired that young lady out. She might be our age, actually. But
She is. You think she is?
I think she might be our age.
Okay.
But either way, it was goofy. It was classless. Men don't act like that. And I'm a man's man, and I stand on certain standards. I've never in my life, spoke bad, ill about a woman in public.
You shouldn't have to.
If I had an issue with a female amongst my circle, I'd say, can you believe what this motherfucker did? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I would never sit in the room at a party, at a game night with a bunch of people and be like, man, guess what this bitch? No, you calling her a bitch, all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't that way when you was laid up with her.
Right.
But she was making you money.
And when you was in the shower composing
When you was in the shower composing a song, that was the love of your life.
Yeah.
Keep that same energy.
Absolutely.
And take it as a loss. You learn from it. I had my heart broken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have. We all have.
We all did.
I learned from it. I knew, all right, I never do that again.
Yeah.
If I see a sign of this, that'll never happen again. You know what I'm saying? But to sit here and, because I'm doing a documentary, you're going to throw her under the bus because she don't want to be bothered with you?
Right.
You're a bitter man.
Yeah.
You're a bitter old lady. That's what you sound like.
And the thing is, it makes you look less of a man when you speak on that like that. You know, at the end of the day, you also added First of all, I'm surprised that 50 Cent didn't capitalize on that entire interview. Because, you know, 50 always comments.
And you know what? Not to cut you off, but I was talking to my brother about this. And I said, you know, at one point, because remember, Murder Inc., to their credit, they had a run where they was they was Murder Inc., but it was all soft songs, right? But it was fire, right?
Well, they was murdering you with love.
Yeah. Like,
You was drop dead. You was drop dead with love.
They were murdering you with love. Oh, I'm using that today. I'm gonna murder you with love, baby.
Hey man, that's the way you got.
Are you ready to get killed? Because I'm gonna murder you with love, baby. I'm saying that today. But they had a run, right? 50 show up, 50 destroys them.
Oh man.
And it got to a point where I started feeling bad for them. Like, excuse me. I'm like, damn, they had to run. They was doing this. 50 came in and like killed everything for them, where they was never the same.
Destroyed.
And I felt bad for him. But when I see shit like that, and I hear 50 talk, I was like, oh, I get it. I see why 50 was acting that way. Because he knew Irv was a sucker.
Right.
And he knew Ja was...
He knew how to read
he read
his
them.
enemies.
He read them. And he knew exactly what they was.
Yep.
I didn't know that. So I'm like, damn, why 50 killing these dudes? Like, let him eat, Fifth. Like, let him make... Nah, he like... And then when you see... I watched the documentary only because I heard part of the Drink Champs, and I was like, all right, let me see. And the documentary is actually good, but I could tell, like, why 50. So needless to say, I don't respect it. Goofy shit is goofy shit. That's anything. If you beating on chicks, if you mentally abusing them, if you being a toxic motherfucker to them, all that is unnecessary. That says a lot about your character and who you are. So I don't know. I don't get it, but...
I agree 100%. I will say that 50 Cent is a very calculated individual. I think he's one of the smartest people that I know in the industry.
By far.
And he's not only business smart, he's also street smart. Like he calculates everything to where he always looks like he's on top from the beginning. He ended up, I think he ended up suing that one chick that
Tia Marie.
She tried to Me Too him, right? And on the Breakfast Club, he said, I had to make an example of her. So when they scream Me Too, I say not me.
Not me.
Right?
Not me.
And I love that. Because my thing is the Me Too movement. Now, first and foremost, it was bait, and it's just like the Black Lives Matter movement, where it was built on, you know, on foundations where it was supposed to be meant to do good. And people ended up capitalizing on it, you know, to destroy careers. So they tried to do that with 50. And he said, nah, I'm going to sue her for defamation of character. So there's a book that you got to read by 50 Cent. I think it's called Hustle Harder, Work Smarter or something like that. I didn't read it. Awesome book, man. You got to listen to the audio book. Yeah. He talks about the reasoning behind everything that he does. And with the whole Murder Inc. situation, he had every reason to do so.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to
do it this week. He had every reason to do so, man.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to kill your career.
I know the background of that.
Right.
Because even if you watch Supreme Team, the Showtime. Yeah.
That was a good documentary.
So you learn a lot about that whole situation. But I'm just saying in regards to why he went so hard and me being, because I'm very sympathetic and empathetic with people. Right. And that's my gift and curse.
Yep.
And so I'm like, damn, he is killing these motherfuckers. Like,
with no mercy.
They'll never eat again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I see this and I was like, okay, I would have did it too. Because now I see your character, Irv Gotti.
Right.
Now I see your character, Ja Rule.
Well, when Irv Gotti said that when 50 was trying to shop his deal, he was blocking them. He was blocking 50 from all of these record labels.
Because he was friends with the dude.
Because he was friends with the dude.
With Supreme,
Now you understand why 50 behaves the way he behaves.
He hates them.
Because my thing is, when you trying to, let me tell you something. I could have the worst enemy, right? But you never stop them from feeding their family.
No.
No matter how they work.
I don't care. That ain't my business.
Right. Let them prosper.
You stay over there, bro.
Stay over there.
I'm over here, you over there.
I love you from afar, or I hate you from afar.
You don't say nothing to me, I don't say nothing to you. Let's go about our business.
My man literally tried to take food out of this man's mouth.
Yeah.
So now that he up, he gonna make sure y'all don't get no food regardless.
And he did the right thing.
And he been doing his thing ever since.
He did the right thing, because Murder Inc. ain't never been the same.
Man, Murder Inc. They've been murdering for love, man. They've been murdering for love.
I was gonna say something. Yeah, I forgot it. Go ahead.
I apologize.
No, I was gonna say something.
But anyway, well, first of all, this is probably gonna be our longest episode. A great episode.
That's fine, bro.
By the way,
you can chop it up.
A great episode.
We just talking, man.
But listen, We about to do part 2. We about to cut it off. But anyway, we got
Cheers, brother.
we got planes to catch. We ain't got time for the nonsense. This is what
Shout
we
out to
doing.
Danny Garcia, bro.
Yeah.
We rooting for you.
We doing our thing. I'll
right.
talk to y'all.